This is where the wood is going to be. When you get a piece of wood, you want to have one person on each end. So you two, get that piece of wood for me. One person on each end. And follow along. When you put this on the table, you don't want to put it on the table like this because you're cutting over a vise. You don't want to cut over a vise. You want to cut this way. Before you clamp it to the table, you need to get some things from the tool cabinet. Rulers, you want to use the ones that are in the slot, not the ones hanging up. You want to grab one of these, and you want to grab one of these. What's another thing that you need from the tool cabinet? Clamp. The clamps are kept over here. Don't put the clamps on until you have the line. What is the measurement that we're going to measure from the end of our wood?
7 inches.
So you're going to make this even with one of the ends and mark a 7. When you use a tri-square, how you draw this straight across is this needs to be up against the edge of your wood. Then that will be a straight line. So don't have it like this. You want to have this up against the edge of your wood. Line up your pencil mark and draw that across. We're going to draw 2 more lines. How far are those lines away from the center?
Half an inch.
So you put half an inch this way, half an inch that way. Oops. And draw those 2 lines. Once you have those 3 lines, that's when you're going to clamp. When you clamp this, you don't want to have this too far off from the table, and you don't want to have it too close. You want to have it about that far. How this clamp works is, this closes by just pushing it. To open it up, you need to push these metal things in, and that will raise it up. It's easier to tighten this with the handle on top. So you're going to put this underneath the table, then turn it down. Then turn this to the right till it doesn't turn anymore. The reason we need 2 clamps, if you only have 1 clamp, it's still going to move a lot. And then tighten that to the right till she can't tighten it any further. Then you call me over to get graded. If you were to call me over and get graded right now, you would get -1 point. What am I missing from this step right here? You're only going to get 1 saw per table. The saws that we're going to use are the hand saws. The hand saws are kept right here. There are 6 in the slots, 1 hanging up. When you carry a saw, you need to pay attention to how you carry. You want to carry it at your side. You never want to be holding the saw unless you're bringing it over to your table or you're cutting. So if someone is doing the measuring, I don't want you holding it like this and twirling this all around. Leave it on the table when you're not using it. If I were to cut, I would get sawdust all over these backpacks. So from now on, you're no longer going to keep your backpacks at your table. You're going to put them on the shelves. Each shelf has a number. This is table 7, so I'm going to put it on table 7's shelf. When you cut, you don't want to cut straight up and down. You don't want to cut flat. You want to cut at an angle. Also, what you want to do is when you're done cutting, you don't want this to fall to the ground, so you need someone from your table to hold it. When you cut, don't cut with your feet together because you kind of lose your balance. Have 1 foot in front, 1 foot in back. And to get it started, you want to pull it straight back on the line till you get a little groove. Then you're going to make long cuts. If you just make short cuts, it's going to cut, but it takes an awful long time. Use all the teeth on the saw. You're going to push on the downstroke, that's what's going to do the cutting. If the blade is bending, it's impossible to cut, so you want to make sure that you stand straight in front. You also want to make sure that it's not at an angle like this when you're cutting. So you want this straight up and down, you want this standing right behind it. So if it's hard to do, you're probably standing in the wrong spot. So you're going to make nice long strokes, and you're going to try to cut right on the pencil line. If you notice that you're going outside of the pencil line, and you're going to go into here, then you switch to the other side and cut from that side. As long as you cut somewhere in between those 2 lines, you're going to get full credit for the step. It doesn't have to be exactly in the middle. Just have it there. When you get to the very end, like right here, I don't want to make long cuts anymore because if I make long cuts, it could chip and break. So you want to do short little cuts when you get to the end. What I do when you're done is you call me over, and if this is about 7 inches, it doesn't have to be exact, then you get points for this. So you don't want to go on to step 2 until you get step 1 graded. I will initial it. I'll see if it's 7 inches. then I'll give you credit. Where you get the brushes is over here. Any sawdust you have on the table, brush it in here. While one person is doing that, one person is going to grab a broom. We have 3 that go here and 4 that go over there. Everyone is probably not going to cut in the same area. So what I want you to do is I want you to sweep around your table. While you're sweeping around your table, if you're not doing anything and you see the broom coming towards you, what you want to do is you want to move the stool out of the way so I can sweep by it. You're going to sweep all around your table. So eventually you'll sweep all around it and get a pile. Once you have a pile, someone is going to get a dustpan and brush and clean that up. We have a lot of trash cans, so whatever trash can is closest, you can throw it away. Closest. Brushes on top, dustpans on the bottom. You do not want to carry the broom to your table like this, because you might hit someone in the head. You want to carry it with the broom side down. Also, what you don't want to do is you don't want to sweep over to your table. So if you're table 1, don't grab a broom and start sweeping, because there's going to be things in your way. If they're in the way and you hit it enough, the broom breaks right here. So carry this to where you're going to sweep. Your backpack, stay here until your table's clean. How you know your table's clean is your cleanup captain tells you your table is clean. They will look around the table, make sure everything's clean. When it is, they'll say, you can go get your backpacks now.